Ryan Clark's comments about Shedeur Sanders and where he basically played the race card, that there's some sort of skin color that Shedeur has that NFL teams just aren't comfortable with. Let's hear from Ryan Clark.
We all know that they plant these certain reports or they say these certain things, and you do hear the word arrogant. Why is he arrogant? Because he won't walk into the meeting and bend the knee, or he won't sit in the meeting and question himself or his abilities or his knowledge and experience in the game. I don't believe that that's arrogance. I want a quarterback that's self-assured. I want a quarterback that could cut the film on, and when you ask him a question about why did you make this mistake or why did you make this throw or why was this the right read, I want him to be able to regurgitate that to me like he's in the play at the moment, the same way a coach or an offense coordinator would, because that's what he's going to have to do. And I've had conversations with Shedeur Sanders, and he can do that. We all know that it's not just about him being Deion Sanders' son. It's about the bravado he carries. It's about the fact that he looks a certain way. It is about the fact that the color of his skin sometimes at that position can be questioned. And I believe Shedeur Sanders is going to have to deal with that until he gets on the field. Now,
so there you have it. Surprise, surprise. He has a skin color that can be questioned at that position, according to Ryan Clark. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts just played in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has won 3, I believe. Lamar Jackson's won 2 or 3 MVP trophies. What are we talking about, Ryan? This is like, these guys, they go a few seconds, a few weeks. Oh, I don't have any traction. Let me play the race card. Oh, I just got off the phone with Deion Sanders, because he mentions in there that he's talked to Deion. I just got off the phone, and Deion's frustrated. Shedeur's not going to go in the first 2 or 3 picks of the draft. It must be racism. Oh, there's questions about Shedeur's arrogance. Oh, that must be racism. Now, we all know that if a white quarterback, there were questions about his arrogance or his attitude. If he were, let's say, Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, if Shedeur, who carries himself exactly like Johnny Manziel, and people had all kinds of questions about Johnny Manziel's attitude and arrogance and whether or not he was self-aware enough, those questions are all perfectly fine. He's Johnny Manziel. He's white. But because Shedeur's skin is black and his dad is Deion Sanders and Ryan Clark just happened to talk to Deion and Shedeur, now if you have these questions about the guy that is pointing to watches and being very arrogant and the whole rap persona, he wants to be a rapper. If you have any questions about that, well, of course, it's only racism. What else could it be? You're not allowed to question Shedeur Sanders.
Whether you're using unencrypted or unsecured Wi-Fi networks, ExpressVPN keeps you safe by shielding your connection from prying eyes. It makes you much more anonymous, helping you browse the web without leaving a trail. Plus, ExpressVPN makes it more difficult for advertisers and big tech to track you online, putting you back in charge of your digital footprint. Find out how you can get 4 months free by clicking the link in the description box below or by going to expressvpn.com/fearless.
Isn't anybody tired of this? I mean, the RC on his lapel, you think it stands for Ryan Clark. It really stands for race card. That's what the RC on Ryan Clark's deal. It's race card. And look, don't think I'm just picking on Ryan Clark. Didn't I just give Ryan Clark credit last week? He made a good point about LeBron James. It helped me think of something. Gave him credit. But it's this type of garbage that wears me out about Ryan Clark. This is all he does, is go on TV and get traction from, oh, that's racist. And Cam Ward, who I believe is black, the Miami quarterback, He's scheduled to be the first quarterback taken. His color doesn't matter. No one has questions about his color. It doesn't raise questions. Cam Ward. So what's the difference between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders? Maybe it's attitude. Maybe it's the way they carry themselves. Maybe Shedeur is a bit cocky. Maybe he doesn't have the kind of self-awareness where he's able to admit a mistake, able to humble himself and not have an excuse or a rationalization for everything. Maybe he's got too much of his dad's personality, which will work at a cornerback island position. Cornerbacks, mostly, they never huddle up. Particularly shut down, cover one side of the field corners like Deion Sanders. The teammates and being a leader is far less important. Having even self-awareness, far less important for a cornerback. Corner, C-O-R-N-E-R, not a quarterback, Q-U-A-R, Q-U-A-R-T-E-R. There's a difference between those positions and how you carry yourself. And maybe Shedeur has carried himself like his father to his detriment that teams have questions. Is he another Johnny Manziel? Is he another Cam Newton? Because you can sit there, well, Cam won the MVP, and there was 2 or 3 years where Cam was arguably the best player in football. They're not drafting you at number 1 at the quarterback position to be one of the best players for 2 or 3 years. They want 10, 12, 15, 20 years out of that position at a super high level. They don't want someone that flames out quickly because they didn't bring the right attitude to the position. If you remember, Cam Newton came into the league talking about, I want to be an icon. He didn't say rapper, but he might as well have said rapper. He wanted to be an icon. He wasn't just focused on being the best quarterback he could be. And maybe that's a question about Shedeur Sanders that franchises have every right to ask. Are you looking at the money that is paid to these franchise quarterbacks, $50 and $60 million a year? You want to make sure when you're drafting that guy and you're thinking, hey, this might be a guy I may pay $50, $60, $70 million a year. Is he all in on football? Or is he all in on making himself an icon? Is he going to be running around in a Cam Newton-sized hat and clown suit the way that Cam Newton and spending all his time at the beauty shop getting his hair did? These are legitimate questions. If you ever get in an ownership position or a hiring position, you have these questions about employees. It's natural. It's obvious. And Ryan Clark wants to shield Shedeur Sanders and any other black quarterback he can think of from these types of questions by just claiming racism. It actually hinders the quarterback. It actually hinders the player. It stunts his growth. Ryan Clark just wears me out.
Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.